We just witnessed something amazing unfold for the Phoenix Suns as in their summer league debut, they cap off a big-time victory versus a stacked Washington Wizards roster with key players not only on this team, but shocking rookies making some big-time plays as well. We'll be diving in and exploring what that could mean for Jordan Ott's team for this season and for the future of the Phoenix Suns as they get into this new culture and new identity for their youth development. We'll be getting into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I am your host, Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love and support down below in the comment section, and I really do appreciate every kind word you guys have been saying. So let me know your thoughts on the recent game here from the Phoenix Suns and what your main takeaways are coming from this performance. What would you like? What did you really like? What really stood out to you? What would you guys like to see for the future? With all of that being said, let's dive into the video at hand as we got a lot to break down. Make sure to grab that snack and let's get into it. As once again, this is absolutely fantastic and nice to see as after the Phoenix Suns had a little bit of a disappointing season and it put a sour taste in our mouth, we were waiting for this team to come out and play with a vengeance with its new style and new kind of formation. And we saw that come completely to play here today as the Phoenix Suns wound up beating the Washington Wizards 103-84 in a pretty dominant fashion. There were some points where the Wizards were making it close here versus this Phoenix Suns team, but the Suns had most of the control here in the second half, especially going late in the fourth quarter to really cement this victory tonight. Want to look at the team stats. You guys can see versus the Wizards, they outshot them not only from the field goal range, but from the free throw and from three-point range as well, playing a solid game. When looking at the Suns here and looking at who really stood out from this team, when looking at the starting five, some key names do pop, and the two that were in the thumbnail are Ryan Dunn and Osa Ighodaro, and the two vets here on the roster, the guys that played with the Phoenix Suns last season, really showed how dominant they were. Ryan Dunn, absolutely incredible, not only just attacking the lane and playing ferociously, going to the basket, but also having a really good shot from three-point range, 2 for 5 from the field from 3, 7 for 12 from the field in general, with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, a plus 13 with 17 points for what I would say would be the captain of this Phoenix Suns Summer League team. Then you add it into Osa Ighodaro, someone that people were having some high praise on going into last season, but ultimately with this center rotation being clogged, looked at it could be a potential moving piece. But ultimately, what he was able to do in this new fast-paced offense kind of run by DeMarre Carroll here within this Suns Summer League, he was not only able to flourish in that system, was able to thrive as playing a little bit of a point forward, which I thought was very interesting here. Ighodaro, very effective from the mid-range, but not only just that, a beast down low on the glass. 13 rebounds, 4 for 5 from the field, 3 assists, and 11 points for him. Really was showcasing his ability to grow his game not only on the offensive but the defensive side as well here through this summer league game. And even though it's a summer league, I don't want to overreact. I do think he could potentially be maybe one of those backup fours, and if the Suns do roll into what this Cleveland Cavaliers team wants to did last season with those two guard heavy lineups with Booker and Jalen Green in the starting lineup, we could see two bigs, and that would present Osa Ighodaro with a bigger workload, which he is definitely proving that he can definitely deserve. Then you look at the two rookies. I would like to mention that Rasheer Fleming was out tonight for the Suns due to right knee soreness, so he did not play. But the other two rookies, in Kaman Malawach and Kobe Bryant, also had some great performances as well tonight. We'll start with Kaman Malawach, who finished the game on an emphatic note, absolutely getting a beast of a slam after getting a play dribbled off of him by Trey Johnson, after getting blocked by Alexander Sarr, the former number 2 overall pick in last year's draft. Malawach got a baptism of his own down low in the paint, and then also, when the shot clock was running out, hit a nice 3, going 1 for 6, which just goes to show you. We've seen Malawach trying to practice this three in training camp. We've seen the clips of him developing it. It's something that he's going to want to work on. And Tim Legler and the other commentator, I'm forgetting on who it was, were talking about Kaman Malawach during the game. And what they were talking about was that apparently they say that rumor is that he has more upside than Joel Embiid did when he came over to the league. And obviously, Joel Embiid dealt with a bunch of injuries and stuff. But we saw how transformative a guy in Joel Embiid has been on the offensive side for the Philadelphia 76ers. And if Kevin Malawach can be any fraction of what Joel Embiid can be on the offensive end with staying fully healthy within this Suns team, the Suns have their key center alongside Devin Booker in him. He had some, obviously, plays where he was catching down low in the block, having some trouble, but obviously with him being younger and coming to the game a little bit later, he's going to have to grow. And I think within the Sun system, seeing him as a backup big behind Mark Williams is probably where he is going to shine. But going into the following year and the year after that, I think that's where the promise with making this pick with Malawach at pick 10 is really going to strive for the Phoenix Suns. And you're already seeing that blossoming coming through in his first performance. Not to mention Kobe Bryant, who was electric. And as you guys know, I've been very high on Kobe Bryant. When the Suns drafted him, I went absolutely ecstatic as being a Kentucky fan. And now, obviously, you guys can see why. His shot is absolutely immaculate. Every time he's letting go of that basketball, it is just a clean swish. And I was watching the game going, yeah, I fully trust him taking all of these shots, and he was delivering on all of them. His jumper just looks so pure. Me and my boy Eamon were talking on Twitter. It is automatic, like he said, and you saw that in tonight's game. The leading scorer with 19 points for the Phoenix Suns. Ryan Dunn played amazing, and Kobe Bryant still outscored him, which just goes to show you how lethal he was from three-point range. 4 for 5 from 3, 7 for 10 from the actual field with 3 rebounds as well, 1 steal. One thing I did like about Kobe Bryant, not only just the efficiency to take these threes and feel confident in shooting them, which Brian Gregory gave him that praise for being the best shooter in the draft, which was clear as day. You could see Kobe Bryant feel very confident in being able to drive and attack to the basket, even though he had some missed layups down the stretch. He did make some tough ones that were very, very nice for the Suns, and I truly do believe that if the Suns, want to have this three-point volume guy at 6'6", 6'7", coming off the bench, I know he's on a two-way now, I truly do believe that maybe not this season if they replace Grayson, but next year, if Bryant can continue to develop and pick up all the intrinsics of still being a quality NBA player, like I said, not just being a catch-and-shoot three-point specialist, but being able to attack the rim, being able to be a little bit of a playmaker, being a little bit of an on-ball defender, which we saw today as well, fighting for loose balls down at the end of the basket. I truly do believe he could be that replacement as a three-point volume scorer that Grayson does add to this lineup, and realistically would be coming in on a $2 or $3 million deal, which would be like $13-14 million cheaper than Grayson Allen. So something to keep an eye on, maybe not this season, because I don't think Kobe Bryant is ready to take that leap maybe initially right off the bat. It is only just one summer league game, but I will say maybe halfway through the season, if they still have Grayson when the trade deadline comes, if they move off him, wouldn't be shocked if Bryant gets that bump up to the start to a guaranteed contract similar to what we saw with Colin, especially if he gets some run with injuries or if they do trust him, or in some blowouts, or maybe we'll see a guy like Kobe Bryant get that opportunity next year. But keep looking back at this team to finish out the starting five. I got to give my praise to Yuri Collins, and I tweeted about him a couple times during the show, during the game, but absolutely fantastic. 4 rebounds, I believe that says 6 assists, 2 lobs as well. Really solid passer and playmaker. Was making some really key intrinsic plays as well at the top of the key, finding some nice dishes, driving to the rack and going to the corners, and I really like that out of a guy in Yuri Collins. Once again, he's probably going to be a G League guy. Not saying he's going to be an impact immediate guy, someone I'm completely blown away from, but he hit some tough mid-range jumpers, especially off the dribble, kind of fading away a little bit, was able to create a good enough space to take those shots, and I'm going to have to keep my eye on him for the next couple of games, because if he continues to be a solid shot creator off the dribble and be a solid playmaker, I think he could be a great point guard for this Valley Suns team that last season showed some praise in their inaugural season, making the playoffs, and could still be looking to not only make that, but they're fighting for this youth movement and going with all these young guys, want to get as much investment as possible in anyone, because who knows, some of these undrafted guys or diamonds in the rough could eventually make this roster in hindsight. So that's a keep an eye with Yuri Collins. Another one that made a big standout as well to me was Boogie Ellis, and I tweeted about this before. The USC guard, very, very solid shot creator, three-point sniper. Once again, probably more the likes of a G League guy for the Suns here. Don't really see him necessarily getting a guaranteed roster spot, maybe potentially a two-way, but 4 for 6 from the field, 4 for 6 from 3-point range as well, with 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 15 points, or 16 points. Absolutely incredible with a plus 22 from Boogie Ellis. He was someone that I really like as an offensive component for this team. And like I mentioned, could be another just scorer or shot maker for the Valley Suns. And in the G League, it's predominantly offense and just trying to get as many buckets as you can and trying to keep that momentum going. And I think he could be a great addition alongside Yuri Collins there. CJ Huntley had some big dunks, 4 for 5 from the field as well. 5 rebounds with a block shot. He was catching lobs on a two-way deal already for the Suns from Appalachian State. Went undrafted. He's going to be another guy to keep an eye out for. And once again, who knows, could flourish through the ranks as a two-way guy in the possible days. And then Moses Wood did hit some shots eventually, but was shot chucking a lot, wasn't really passing. That's the only one, in my opinion, that didn't have the greatest game. And Khalif Battle, I wasn't really paying attention to. A little bit of a scrappy guy here defensively, didn't do much offensively. But for the Suns, once again, since it was a big blowout game, 103-84, there was a lot of offense. And you saw that, once again, if you're looking at this box score from diversely through this team, through this top 7 here. They are all being active in this team. And I can't wait to see what they do in their next game on Sunday, because this Wizards squad, like I mentioned, had some guys that played on their roster last year as sophomores, had some interesting rookies as well, with Trey Johnson being one of their top scorers tonight, who was very solid for them. And I think the Suns got a big victory versus one of the better, if not the best couple teams in the Summer League here. So that's very intriguing for the Phoenix Suns here, going on to their next game on Sunday, which I am going to be very interested in. Unfortunately, I will not be able to have a video for you guys on that Sunday game, as I will be busy. I will be going to the Big 3 performance in Boston, so there will be no video for you guys on that, unfortunately, but I will get some more news and stuff revolving around the Phoenix Suns when it does drop out for you guys. So if you want to make sure you stay tapped into all the new details revolving around this team, diving into the Summer League, looking at some of these guys eventually when Summer League's over, going over potential G League fits, also looking at the other roster moves the Phoenix Suns still have to make, because they still have the Bradley Beal decision, also still have the other possible options revolving around Grayson, Royce, Nick Richards, etc. We'll keep you all up to date here. So once again, Suns get a big win. This was amazing to witness. Some great performances from Ryan Dunn, Oso Ighodaro, really setting that kind of precedent for these younger guys here. But not only just that, Kobe Brea electric from 3-point range. Malawach, even though he had some smaller, tweakier, ignorances with him, just having to get used to picking up the speed of the game of basketball and kind of getting used to playing with this Suns team, had some flaws there, but also looked very solid towards the end. And then, like I mentioned, Yuri Collins, Boogie Ellis, really making their name known potentially for some G League guys. I'm excited for this Phoenix Suns Summer League. You should be excited for this Phoenix Suns Summer League. So let me know your thoughts, like I said, down below in the comment section of how you guys are ultimately feeling. A 1-0 start for the Phoenix Suns, something that we haven't felt in a very long time. Being in the winning column, it is a great night to be a Phoenix Suns fan. Even if it is Summer League, I will say that. Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.